don't need a high-end designer or a lot of money to get a luxe look. Be your own interior designer.
This is Affordable Interior Design, the podcast.
Here's your host, Betsy Helmuth.
My next question comes from Sabrina. Sabrina is in Hastings, New York, not too far from me, the town right over. And she writes, "Hi, Betsy. As you know, we're moving into our dream house soon. I'm concerned with our entryway and what it's going to look like. I need to make it functional because my kids are used to apartment living. They dump their backpacks, their shoes, their clothes out in the hallway before coming inside. On the pictures, you can see we enter the house into a small atrium with a closet that's across the hall and next to the stairs. I can already see myself tripping over the piles of shoes and clothes that my kids are going to peel off as soon as they race through the door. I need entryway solutions for the shoes, the coats, the keys, the mail. How am I going to style that area? Our style is rustic modern, even though you say that's not a thing. Betsy, please help and keep doing what you're doing. You're helping so many of us who are lacking your talent." Oh, and shout out to Betsy's room design services. I had such fun designing my studio with her, and I'm still adding the finishing touches. Betsy has given me the confidence to think I can do it, even though she had to say more than a few times, "Ooh, Sabrina, no." That's true. Sabrina and I worked together, what was it now, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? She's moving into her dream house in Hastings. And I must say the houses in this area, the river towns, as they're called in New York, could not be more charming. It's like driving through a fairy tale. I've been looking at lots of other neighborhoods as I've been considering moving due to the extremely high property taxes. And you just can't find this level of historic home, unique charm, adorable neighborhoods, mature trees. I mean, history just oozes around every corner and you can truly feel it. No one house is the same as the next. In fact, in our neighborhood, you'll find a Victorian next to a craftsman, next to a colonial, next to a mid-century modern. And it's just really inspiring. I've told you guys before, but my favorite time of year in this area is Halloween. Not because of the candy, not because of the adorable children coming to the door, but it's because I walk around with my kids and it is my chance to go up close and see inside these homes because we ring the doorbell, we wait for the person to come, and then while my kids are adorably begging for candy, I am looking over their heads into the house to see, oh my gosh, look at that light fixture. Oh goodness, look at how beautifully they've decorated their living room. Can you imagine if I had those moldings? Because my house is amongst all these super charming houses in this super charming area, but it is one of the more basic homes. It does have beautiful molding. It does have leaded glass. It does have some stained glass, but it's really a blank canvas on which I overlaid my personality and design style. And a lot of these homes have so much style that they're bringing to the table, which I love. I compromise every day when working with my clients, including Sabrina. And I certainly imagined that I would have to compromise when I moved into my home. But really, other than the stained glass, I was able to do whatever I wanted. So sometimes I pine for homes that have just so much character that you have to bow down to it and surrender to the space. Anyway, welcome to the neighborhood, Sabrina. That was a long-winded way of saying welcome to the neighborhood. Now that you're here, I had such a fun time designing your studio space. It's going to be lovely. Its inspiration piece was this large tiger painting with this emerald or even forest green background. And the tiger had these really glowing yellow-green eyes. It was a very fun inspiration to be working with as we were pulling your room together. When we're talking about entryways, as is your question here, you want to first think not about aesthetics, but about practicality. How do you and your family enter the space? What are you bringing in? How can you give everyone a zone? In the entryway, I find it's very important to have some autonomy, some place where you can shove your stuff. Every member of the household is going to have a different level of fastidiousness. In my family, my two children are throw and go. My husband is throw and go. I'm a little bit throw and go, but we all need to just have our cubby. We need to have a place that we can dump and run. And my husband and I have gotten quite good, surprisingly, at hanging up our coats. So I find that we need two different entry moments. We need a shoe cabinet that has open shelving where we can shove our shoes. On top of that, we have a tray where we dump the mail. And then on the other side, because we don't have a closet, we got a freestanding armoire from IKEA. It has cubbies on one side and doors on the other. Behind the doors, we hang our coats, and then each member of the household has a cubby where they shove their stuff. That's how it looks at our house. And it's a little bit exposed because the shoe shelves are open, the cubbies are open, but it's truly what works best for us. And that's how I can get the job done. If I had doors behind everything, well, it's tempting, but I don't think that my family would actually use the spaces if we had a lot of doors because we are so throw and go. Now, certainly you can create habits, especially it's the perfect time to create a new habit when you're moving into a new space because there's no rules yet. Nobody's gotten into some sort of pattern in this home. So it's important, I feel, from the get go to create an initial plan of action. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. Over time, it may need to evolve. We didn't always have an armoire. We used to have hooks, and the hooks just got too filled. And no matter how I tried to cull it every season, people were still just being out of control. So I had to get an armoire because I just can't be looking at piles and piles of coats on hooks. So I think that you'll find that it's a bit of an evolution as well. And I don't want you to get too set on any one solution before you've lived there, but I also don't want it to be the wild, wild west as you move in. You sent in a picture, so I just want to peek at it now. You know, the closet is small and there's not much room in this area, you know. So I think it would be critical when there's just a few small spaces to take advantage of, that you not try and create too many little areas, because again, that's sort of the curse of the medium furniture. One solution holds some of the items, but not all the items. So you have to create another solution, and it holds some of the things, but not all the things. So then you add another thing. So looking at these pictures, I would definitely take full advantage of that closet. You need to maximize it any way that you can. And you need to make sure that there's a system that everyone can understand so that when they walk in, they actually use the system. Then you do have this small little corner wall. And that seems like it might be a good place to put some shoe cubbies or even a tall cabinet with some cubbies. You know, maybe even like IKEA had that, they used to call it the expedit that had the squares. That could be interesting for this area, a tall vertical piece where everyone could sort of have their own square, whether it has a door or not. But above the radiator, across from that sort of opportunity for squares, I wouldn't put anything besides maybe a piece of art because we don't want to put small solutions everywhere. As I mentioned, it's just going to add to the visual clutter and the visual and physical confusion as you walk in. I have to stop not only at the closet, but also at my cubbies, and then I have to put XYZ above the radiator. I just think it's too much going on. And I think for entryway, simpler is better when you're trying to get all the family on one organizational page. Sabrina, it was so good working with you. Welcome to the River Towns. I hope that when I'm out trick-or-treating, I get to peek in your doorway and see what your entry solution is. Oh, and by the way, feel free to come to my side of the River Towns and knock on my door as you're trick-or-treating. We not only give out great candy because my husband loves candy, but also, we leave the door wide open on Halloween so you can see right in. A big thank you to our amazing producer, Catherine Heller, to Aton and the MCR House Band, and to Affordable Interior Design, the sponsor of this podcast and the premier place to get an amazing look on a budget. Check out affordableinteriordesign.com. If you guys love the show, the very best way to support us is by spreading the word. Tell your friends or write us an awesome review on iTunes. So until next week, guys, thanks so much for joining us, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.